Hello, everyone, and happy Friday to you. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Here's the need to know update forecast. We're going to go over first and foremost what's happening now as a winter storm warning's been issued. Heavy snow is on its way. I'll have the very latest in your forecast and a look at road conditions for your evening commute as it's already happening. Here's your details coming up now.
Now, a Hutch's weather update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
All right, everybody, as is always the case with Hutch's Weather, I need you to drop a line. Let me know where you're watching from. Do you have a report of what's going on along the South Dakota borders where we have a winter storm warning? We will start there right now as we take you over to a look at the radar. Here's a look. There is a band of snow. There is more out near the Bismarck area, but the Mayville radar showing a band of snow. Jamestown and points south of Fargo. Right now, I'm looking out the window. We have gray skies in the FM area. Not that big of a deal, but the snow starting to saturate the atmosphere. We do have a little bit more of a northerly component to the wind up north drying us out, so that will take a while for things to get started. We're not gonna get zero snow in Fargo the way it looks. Check these circles out. This is visibility in miles. So if you live in any one of these communities, I gotta tell you what, that visibility reduced in Breckenridge, Wahpeton, all the way out towards the Fergus Falls area, and zero visibility as well. Out in Oaks and Sisseton showing a zero visibility. We'll take a look at those DOT cameras here in 1 second. Again, a band of heavier snow already impacting the area. Now, as we zoom out, you can see the area of impact here. There is a red area all the way from southwest North Dakota. We're talking Bowman, Rame, straight down through Grant County, Elgin, New Leipzig, Sioux County, Fort Yates. How about Emmons County and Hazelton, Moffett, Braddock, Napoleon, Wishick, Ashley, all the way out to Wahpeton, Breckenridge, and look at Lakes Country. You're included in the winter storm warning. It's going to be a pretty sharp cutoff of where the heavy snow bands are, but look at the radar setting up with those heavier bands early. So the early it snows and the longer it snows, then your chances of getting heavy snowfall totals, you are in business. So it looks like some snowblower type material will be making its way through in the next 24 hours, really most of it in the next 12 to 18 hours. About 4 to 5 inches of snow, says Arlen. Thank you for that. Now let's take a look at this. Fergus Falls, zero visibility reported in that area. 1 mile visibility in Grant County for you in Elbow Lake. Wheaton, on stark contrast there, 10 miles of visibility going on. Otter Tail County, you are in that warning, as is Wadena County at this time, so keep those things in mind. Let me lock that screen down. I don't want to be moving that one around. Now, let's take a look at the readings going on in Fergus Falls, Wahpeton, Breckenridge, and up north, we got not much going on nationally. We have some cold weather taking hold out in southern parts of California. What's all that purple out there? That is a freeze warning. What? A freeze warning for Bakersfield area and parts of California. Wintry weather expected to dash its way right across the Great Lakes into New York State. We do have some cold weather warnings there. Winter storm warnings and watches for Boston and parts of, well, Rhode Island and New York, in the northern part of New York, as we take a look there. All right, let's go right to hutchesweather.com. It is your one source for everything you need at your fingertips when it comes to weather. If you live in the Northern Plains, every state and every Canadian province is handled here on hutchesweather.com, and you can take a peek at your latest road conditions. We're going to do that together right here by using hutchesweather.com. I'm going to click the button right here and go, I don't know, I'm working on my sound effects. Okay, let's start with North Dakota. We have a travel alert already in place for areas near Bismarck, Mandan, and points south into the Hazelton area, Fort Yates, as well as Carson and Elgin as we look out towards Napoleon. So those areas are under a travel alert. Now, as we take a look at the cameras, here's what's going on in the capital city of Bismarck, Mandan. We'll start west of town where there is a travel advisory. We do have some snowy roads going on there, but the visibility not zero. That's good news. Now, as we look down south in the Sioux County area, road completely covered with snow there, but the visibility not half bad. Some of the heavier bands of snow we'll show you in just a minute on the radar, but we can see confirmation of reduced visibility as we get into Flasher. Now, get a little closer to southeast North Dakota. Let's go over here. This is where the radar was showing some heavier bands of snow. Let's look south of Jamestown here. This is the Gackle Streeter area, completely covered roads there on US 4, or excuse me, North Dakota 46, I should say. Now, out near the Lemoore area, look at Verona. Now, that's complete coverage of snow. This is Highway 13, so if you're traveling in that general vicinity, keep in mind it gets a little more difficult as visibility gets reduced to see the difference between the road and the ditch. So take it slow out there. And if you don't have to travel, probably the best idea is just to stay off of those roads. Now, Fargo-Moorhead right now, we're not seeing any snow showing up on the cameras, but in our area, we do have a chance at seeing some snow. Let's take a look at the forecast. But first, we also have road conditions that you can check out on hutchesweather.com. Let's go to South Dakota. Now, South Dakota having heavy snow as well, right in those northern tier of counties is where the best chance of that more impactful snowfall is going to be as we go through the next 12 to 20 hours or so. As you take a look at these colors here, by the way, you see pinks in here. Pink is bad. Slippery roads, snow-covered roads. Let's go into that Mobridge zone, and here we'll check in on this camera. This is on US 83, south of Bismarck, and look at this. Complete covered road there. That is a look at US 83. Now, as we sneak off to the east just a bit, this isn't too far from you in the Ellendale area. This is Frederick, and the snow is a-flying there. Are you in Ellendale? Give me a note and let me know if you do have a photo of the weather in your neck of the woods as well. It has not reached the I-29 corridor as of yet with the heaviest band of snow. This is Lake City on South Dakota 10 there. A little bit better. And as we zoom up here into that area near Interstate 29, this is what it looks like. Oh, there is definitely some icy road conditions here. See, that's completely covered with ice there. That's Victor on I-29 just across the border. So that's what it's looking like right now in South Dakota. Thank you, Barbara Ann, for sharing stars. Incredible to have your support out there right here on Hutch's Weather. How about New Rockford snow? You got questions? Let me know. Holler right here on Facebook. Holler right here on YouTube. And by the way, I want to pat you on the back. Here we go. Patting you on the back because just in the last 24 hours here, I have gotten note that we have gotten, what is it? 59,000 followers now. We've crossed a new threshold. So thank you. And it's because you've clicked the follow button on Hutch's Facebook page. Now back to business. What's the forecast? Let's go to this tool and we can compare a couple models and we'll look at the ones that handle this storm system better. Hutch's forecast stands. This is the one that I put out last night. I'm going to stick with it. There might be a subtle northerly shift to this track of snowfall, but let's get to it. Let's see. Here's a look at the details. This little map right here, the snowfall potential as we go towards Saturday at noon, right along the South Dakota, North Dakota border, 3 to 8 inches will be the rule there. It'll quickly ramp between 2 inches in the Fargo area or so, maybe just north of us, and to 5 inches as we go southward into parts of Richland County. So a narrow band of 2 to 5 up north, a trace to an inch of snow. That's not too bad for your snow blowers. The heaviest of the wind is coming, but not until this low pressure system. That's the L you see here. That L is the low pressure center. Counterclockwise flow, big change in pressure driving those winds from the east. Now here's why this will have such a sharp cutoff. You see the winds here coming from the northeast. Northeast winds are a little drier. That's going to cut off some of the snow there. Snow is coming in column, it says. Brad, thank you for your report. Already 2 inches. Thank you very much. That's the kind of report that's helpful because we can see with our own eyes the DOT cameras, but we cannot measure it. And even an estimate from you is better than nothing. It's way better than nothing. It's a lot gooder than nothing. Let's go and take a look at a couple models now, shall we? Here is a look. And we'll use this tool today. Let me scratch my chin. Chinny chin chin. Okay, here we go. Now, what we're looking at is, let's see if this is working correctly with the time up here. Okay, we're going to switch this over and we're going to look at some models. So, what we're going to do is look at a couple different things. Let's look at what the radar's doing right now. This is the regional radar. Here's your winter storm warning in southern parts of North Dakota. Northern South Dakota not included in that warning, but you're going to get some healthy snow amounts for some of you as well. You heard it here on Hutch's Weather. There will be some folks that get upwards of well, let's say 6 inches or more of snow in those areas as well, is my thinking. Now, as we take a look at the active radar right now, there's one tool meteorologists can use. Which model shows this at this particular time, with the time being 4 o'clock here Central Standard Time? Okay, now let's take a look at a forecast model. Now that we know what's going on, we've looked at visibilities. Here we go. We're going to start with a high resolution a model that's updated hourly. This looks pretty doggone close to what we're seeing on the radar right now with that heavier band just south of the FM area. Thanks so much for sharing stars. I can hear them coming right now. Now, as we put this puppy into motion, see what model run we got here. This one won't go all the way through the whole storm, but it'll get us started. Let me get back to one that's come in a little bit further. Here we go. All right, it's loading up right now. Shazam. Okay, here's what you need to know. Look at the times up at the top, and you can kind of follow along as we track this storm through. So here it is at 5 o'clock in the evening. This isn't quite at far north enough. This model has the heavier band of snow a little bit too far south for right now. Now, as we advance this through, notice that the snow moves north a little bit toward the I-94 corridor, a sharp cutoff towards Highway 200. We said these exact words last night. A pretty good blossom of snow right in the area the National Weather Service has pegged with the warning. Good job on that forecast, because I do believe that that is going to be the area of most intense snowfall. Now, there will be, look at Watertown, look at this area down here, a picking up of the intensity of snow as we head toward the deep hours tonight. If you're driving late tonight, not only will the wind increase, and we could see some areas down south with gusts over 30 miles per hour, it's going to reduce visibility, and it's going to make it difficult for the plows to keep up with. The snowfall continues through about, well, look at that, 6 a.m. before it moves off into parts of southern Minnesota. How far south, you say? Uh-oh, look at this. If you're south of the Twin Cities, BA, you may be getting a dash of snow according to this model. Where the models the other day showed it mainly moving through areas north of you, that looks like a healthy amount of snow on the I-90 corridor as well. What about Park Rapids, 2 miles south of Emmaville? Thanks, Cheryl, for your question. So as you take a look at Park Rapids, you are in Hubbard County, not in the warning. That's Wadena County. Here's Park Rapids right here. So while you will get snow, seeing the darker blue bands, we're not seeing as much snowfall potential with this system on this model. We're going to take a peek at another model because we can real quickly. Here we go. Let this load up. This is called the North American model. It's a high resolution model, and it shows a very similar track as we let this load in all the way up. Here we go. Now, look at the time as we go towards midnight. That's when things really rock right into the valley. So right now, things holding steady right here as we head through the 5 o'clock hour. Boom. As we go towards 7 o'clock, we'll see some accumulation starting south of Fargo. It's probably going to be 7 to 9 o'clock before we really have a chance here at seeing some bigger flakes. They could get briefly quite large. This model has a umbrella of snow as far north as Grand Forks. You may not see much more than nuisance snow up there because the lower atmosphere is very dry thanks to that northerly component to your winds. So there'll be a sharp cutoff on snowfall potential there. However, if you do look at Park Rapids now with this particular model, it's showing that you're in business for at least a good couple of inches. So I would say you're going to be in Hutch's band that's going to be very close to that 2 to 5, but probably on the lower side of that, the way I'm feeling right now. This one does have healthy snow moving into southern Minnesota. It lasts right into morning here in Fargo. And we're talking 8 a.m. It starts quieting from west to east, and it's anything but quiet in Twin Cities. Travel to the Twin Cities, travel to Duluth, compromised from the Fargo area. Travel to South Dakota and Sioux Falls will be, well, tricky at best with some bands of heavy snow moving through those areas. By the way, the surrounding counties you see in blue, that's a winter weather advisory. What about Frazee? Let's talk snowfall amounts, and I want to take one more chance to look at another model. The one that did the best on the last snow system is not one of the two we've just looked at. Why did I do that to you? Because it was fancy and easy to step through and show you on this last model. Now we're going to take the uneasy route, and we're going to grab the models that did the best. And let's take a look at how they're doing with this one. This is called another, well, it's a high resolution model. Let's leave it at that. We'll subtract our 6. Here's your evening forecast. That looks pretty spot on. Here comes the winds along with the snow. Boom. Getting into the 10 o'clock hour, right here's 10 o'clock. Snow blossoming. Be where you want to be by about 8 to 10 o'clock here in Fargo, and down south you'll want to be where you want to be here in the next hour or two because the snow accumulations will pick up. And look at the winds. Right along the South Dakota border, we'll have gusts over 30, maybe even over 40 miles per hour for some of you around the Sisseton Hills. This type of a flow will cause enhanced snowfall around the Sisseton Hills. So if you live in that Sisseton area at any point west there, you're going to see some enhanced snowfall totals along that boundary there. This slides out to the east. Look at this. Not much snow down in southeast Minnesota until we get towards daybreak. So this model here, I think it may be onto something, but the wind will be ridiculous throughout the entirety of the day from the northeast as we look at this particular model. Strongest right here in the valley and in Minnesota. Quiet winds out to the west, clearing skies out to the west, and bone-chilling, tooth-chipping, face-slapping cold on the way. That is a look at that particular model. Now we're going to take a look at one more, and then we'll show you the snowfall totals on these two models that are just now coming out. And then you'll have the very latest right here on Hutch's Weather. Who needs to sit on the Davenport and watch old school TV, right? I hope you covered here. Now take a look at this. As we go through, boom, shot of snow Going into 10 o'clock tonight, it's starting to get heavier along the border. And boom, look at this. Moving down the I-90 and I-94 corridors, as well as the Highway 10 corridor right through parts of central and southern Minnesota. A lot of wind throughout the day, decreasing late on your Saturday as we head toward the evening hours. So how much snow will we go? Will you need a snow blower? Will you need a broom? If you sneeze, will it clear the driveway off? Let's get you the details on this particular model's look at snow. For this, I know it doesn't have city names on it, but Hutch will help with that. Notice Grand Forks here, this model says, and this was one of the better two models that had the last system, under an inch of snow for Grand Forks. So a trace to an inch up north, just what Hutch had last night in the forecast. In the blue here, I have, what did I have? I had 2 to 5. Boom, that's right up here, just south of the Highway 200 corridor. Boom, still locked in, still on the same forecast track that we had last night on Hutch's weather. And here you go, the heavier snow just south of Fargo. But look at Fargo in that 2 to 5 zone. What does Hutch think? My gut tells me we've got another chance at a solid 4 inches of snow in Fargo. We may even see a little bit more by the time it's all said and done. The windiest of the wind will be down to the south. I do think we'll see some pockets with over 8 inches of snow. And as you get out here on the I-94 corridor, there out there near St. Cloud, maybe Little Falls area, we could see a pocket of close to 10 inches of snow, the way I'm thinking. Now, let's take a look at that other model that did pretty good. This will be a quick shift for you here. Let's go over to this one here, eh? Take a look and see what we got. Oh, my goodness. These two models did the best with the last snow. This one has the same thing. Southern parts of Cass County. If you're in Kindred, Leonard, these areas here have a better chance at seeing closer to 5 or 6 inches of snow. Fargo on this model says 6 inches. So you're in the 2 to 5 zone, give or take a little bit in Fargo. You're definitely above that as you get down into Richland County, Hankinson. What about Park Rapids, you say? Well, here is Babe the Blue Ox at about, well, in that 1 to 3 category up there. Hutch's 0 to 1 category holds true on this one. And then we start what you would call the 2 to 5 in that area, but closer to 2. I think that's it, with a pretty quick ramping up of snowfall potential as we go into parts of Becker County. So as you are going to Emmaville, okay, it does look like a chance of snow. Let me check your questions and see if we've got everything covered. And in the meantime, I'm going to put the radar up here and kind of scroll through a couple of things while I'm talking along and talking through the forecast. Number one, here's our heavy band of snow moving into the Bismarck area. That's in white. This is real-time radar, 4:17 p.m. And then look at this, Aberdeen, Brown County, South Dakota, seeing a band of snow. It is snowing down in southeast North Dakota all the way toward the Twin Cities right now, but the heaviest being laid down along and south of Interstate 94, a little band trying to set up shop up to the north. Again, let's see if I can look at your basics. I'll flip over to the temperatures. You can take a look at those across the region as well. While I look at your questions, let's start with a look at my viewers on YouTube. Hi, everybody. Paul, good to have you from Scobie, Montana. Are you clear of this storm? This is definitely a southern storm. Paul, I'm going to get to you momentarily and take a look at that as we zoom back out on our temperature map here. We should get some numbers popping in. And up in Scobie up here, we're cold and we're dry. Cold air can't hold much moisture, so doesn't mean you won't get any snow, but if you do get it, it's going to be that fluffy fly around stuff where somebody up your neighbor up the road sneezes and you get a blizzard condition in your area. As we switch this back to the radar for you so you can take a peek at that as well. So as we continue to dance around the region, let me see. Christine says getting heavier pretty fast. Christine, where are you watching from? From Staples. Okay, thank you so much. My folks lived in Staples for an awful long time. If you knew them, they were called the Johnsons. All right, on 210 south of town there. And near Natoash, Cheryl, good to have you on board. Thank you so much for your questions. If you do have a national question as well, I'm going to zoom that radar out just a little bit. You can see what's going on across the nation. Some windy weather in southern Wyoming and northwest parts of Colorado. That includes Utah. They're not far from, well, Salt Lake City, past the Pepper. As we look into the Central Plains, tornadoes aplenty out in eastern parts of Tennessee last night. More showers and thunderstorms. It does not look like severe at this particular time, though, with the most strong thunderstorms well off the Atlantic seaboard. So that's what's going on nationally. And now let's take a look at some questions on Facebook. And again, thanks so much for clicking that follow button on Facebook. This is huge. 59,000 followers. Come on, let's hit 60. We can do this. If you haven't hit the follow button on my Facebook page, please do so. It's Hutch Johnson, Chief Meteorologist. Thank you very much, Jeraine. Good to have you on board, Tracy. Driving just south of St. Cloud on the way to Fargo. Do you think we'll miss the worst of it? If you are just south of St. Cloud now, heading up our way, you're going to get some light snow. By the time you get to Dodge here, it's still about what? About a good 3-hour drive from St. Cloud or so. You're still going to be timed out to hit some of the snow. So we likely will be seeing some snow in that 6 to 7 o'clock time frame if you're arriving. I wouldn't stop and spend too much time anywhere to get home ahead of the system. I do think you'll beat the heaviest of the snow, which will likely happen in about that 9 to 1 a.m. time frame here in Fargo. It lasts until morning. Snow is kind of pretty and, well, fun. Safe travel home. Safe travels, everybody. All right, Spiritwood watching. Thank you so much. Getting lots of snow right now. And watching from Moorhead says Shirley Scott. I sure appreciate you sharing stars with Hutch. Deborah, thanks for watching. Heading to Phoenix in 2 weeks. Can't wait for a snow break. Can't wait myself. It'd be awful fun. And Deborah Specht out there, thank you so much for your stars. You all are fantastic. And Brenda's asking about Wentworth, and Brenda wants spring. Okay, so let's see if we can get this as we take a look. Pardon me, I got a frog in my throat. Yeah, so as we go a little bit farther north here, the snowfall amounts are really not going to amount to too awful much. So just keep that in mind. But it is going to be some wintry travel conditions out there. And again, it's really a good idea to make sure that coming down heavy in Kindred, let's go ahead and take a look at that. That's pretty good information to have as we march on into Kindred, North Dakota, right here on Hutch's Weather. You know, one of the beauties about doing weather the way Hutch does it here is I have the ability to just kind of look at your question and address it right away. So we got to report some good snow coming down in Kindred. As you take a look at the DOT map here, we don't have a camera in Kindred at this particular area, so I'm not going to be able to see right in Kindred, but we can go out here to Morton. Look at that. That's coming out. These flakes are the size of Hutch Johnson's hand. They're big, okay? And they're the fluffy fly kind. How do I know they're so big? Look at these white dots we're seeing on the road. Out that far away from the camera, that's a pretty good sized snowflake slapping its way down to the ground out there near the Morton area. So yes, along our southern counties, including Foreman, the snow has been well, pretty persistent. The visibility a little bit better for now in Foreman, but remember, the heaviest of the snow is expected to come as we go into the later night hour. How much will Valley City get? You guys are great with the questions. I'll go ahead and put the answer up because I'll see if I can scratch my chinny chin and find the answer here. Let's go with this one. This is the what you need to know graphic, right? So again, I do think this heavier band based on the most recent forecast models I just showed you will shift northward, and it'll shift northward about 40 miles. Okay, so that heavier band of snow will be in southern Cass County. It will also be in southern parts of Barnes County and then drop off dramatically as we go north. So if you are up north in Hope, if you're in Page or Findlay, lower snowfall amounts there. And Buckeye, Arizona. Your name ain't Smalls, but you're still killing me. 75? Are you kidding me? Deb and Joy. Okay, no harm, no foul. Light snow and dent. Thank you so much, Gwen, for the update. Okay, so this is what we got. I do have one more tool here that I'll use on this update just because it's fun. And my friends at the North Dakota Agricultural Network have a series of cameras as well, and I'll show you where you can look at another one. Sometimes it's best to look at these cameras on your own to make a decision on whether you want to travel or whether you want to just stay home in this kind of nonsense. But let's go ahead and take a look. Now, this network of cameras put together by the North Dakota Agricultural Weather Network, and it's there for you. You can go to their website anytime you need to. But if you look across, you can see Fortuna up here in Divide County. Look at that wind and snow reducing visibility out there. Now, as you want to go up across the state here, let's start getting out into an area a little bit closer to the southern part of the state. Now we can see Dooley, Sheridan County, Montana. So there's some pretty blowy looking conditions there. And this is ground blowing snow because you can see the sun, and so there's no real clouds covering the sun. This is just snow that is really rocking its way across the landscape there. So that's what's going on. Wowzers, look at that. Okay, so now let's close that out and take a look and see where else we can take a peek at conditions right now. Whoop, whoop. Lots of them out here. Thanks a lot, Don, for putting together such a wonderful site for us to peruse. And now we see some bigger flakes, it looks like, coming down Marion. Blue skies in Langdon, right? So we're going to go from blue skies along the international border to not so blue down here in the south. How about Richland County, Sonora? Nah, I'm going to stay home. I'm not driving through Richland County right now, but if you are, take it slow. Again, winter storm warning in effect as we go through the overnight hours. It does look like some of the worst conditions right now are in that Richland County area from the cameras we're seeing. Now head on over to hutchesweather.com with me. Go to hutchesweather.com. I want to point this out. At the bottom of the page, I have a brand new sponsor, and I just wanted to make sure you're aware that there is some good connections down there. Here are my fine sponsors. Without them, without any of them, hutchesweather.com would not be possible. A lot of fine work has gone into this by Joe. Say thanks, Joe. Joe, you rocked it. This site is awesome. And now we have a tool on here for you right in the bottom of my advertising bar here on the bottom. So, my friends over there at Dumb Blazers Painting, if you need painting done, check them out. They can get you a quote, and they work in the tri-state region. That's good news there. Look at this, NTROTC. You might scratch in, what is this? Well, I want you to click on it. This is a network of cameras across Minnesota co-located with railroads, and they have 16 cameras across our Minnesota counties here right now, and they would love to grow as well. But keep in mind, this is a great resource for you to click on and see what's going on across Minnesota as a storm hits Minnesota. So please do so. Again, the NTR, or the Northern Transcon Rail Cams, Otter Tail channel. That one is right there for you. Looking to travel to Fergus Falls from Fargo near 11 a.m. tomorrow. The snowfall should be wrapping up in the area by 11 a.m. tomorrow. The wind will still be pretty potent, so it will be improving, but there could be a band or an area between here and there that gets some pretty doggone heavy snow, Kim. So I'd keep my eyes on those road conditions on hutchesweather.com. And if you know where that is, I'll show you right now, hutchesweather.com. Once you go there on any browser, even on your phone, on your cellular device, it's a handy tool to have, because not only do I get great photo uploads on hutchesweather.com as we take you to this section here. In fact, just recently, I got a neat little upload from my friend Nathan here sharing a measurement of snow. And this is where you can share your measurements of what's going on in your area on hutchesweather.com. So this is what's going on across the region and what has gone on. A great resource. Look at this beautiful photo. Are you kidding me, Julia? This just looks like, did you stay up and wait for this? How do you even see this stuff? This is amazing photography. Thank you so very, very much. Okay, checking out these road conditions again. Up at the top of Hutch's weather page, way up here in the left-hand corner, you see the home button and you'll see the road conditions tab. You just click on that puppy, you pick your county. Let's go to Minnesota, shall we? Since you're traveling from Fergus Falls to Fargo, you click on that, and as you move the map around here, you're going to find Fergus Falls, and you'll be able to zoom right into it. And if you do not see cameras available here, you can go over to the menu on this side right behind Hutch here, and you can turn the cameras on and off, and you can even follow snow plows. What? Yeah, you can. And those snow plows are plowing the snow and keeping the roads clean for us. But again, you can click on these cameras. This one's near Fergus Falls, and this is what it looks like right now in and around Fergus Falls. Those are some flakes flying already. Winter storm warning is well underway for these areas. How about Abercrombie? Let's check this out. 75, completely covered with snow out there. And if you scroll through the different shots, each of these camera locations will look north, south, east, west, and kind of give you a view of the road conditions across those areas. Where we're going, we don't need roads. Davis, that I guess not. It just depends on where you're going, right? That's the point of that story. So that's a look at what's going on right now. I think that covers us. How come I can't move this window out of the way? That's okay. We'll just make do like this. There we go. All right, so you're going to see my eyeballs wandering just a little bit here as I'm looking at a different monitor. hutchesweather.com for the very latest. And thank you so much for watching. I got to tell you, it's always fun to do weather. I just have a lot of fun talking weather with all of you. Let's see, what else do I have for you? Oh, how about this? Well, I don't always let somebody drive the Chevelle, but I think I'm ready to go. Are you? All right, if you're gonna drive, wear that seatbelt, have a survival kit. Check hutchesweather.com to get the latest on road conditions and even more. And of course, my latest forecast videos are there for you as well. Thanks so much. Sean says, thanks for everything. Squirt hockey team has games in Park River tomorrow at noon. Well, Park River is north, and that's a good thing. Should we leave tonight and stay in Grand Forks, or will it be okay for travel in the morning? Sean, the roads will be trickier in the morning part of the day with the wind and the fall and snow, but it doesn't mean they'll be impossible to travel. I don't like to tell people what to do, but what I can tell you is, you know what, if you're not comfortable driving in wind and snow, you may want to leave tonight and get a room up that way. And good luck to your team. I've had hockey players in my family, and my kids, they loved it, and we traveled through a lot of winter weather. I'm sure you're doing the same, Sean. So be very, very good. Back to the Future reference, says Davis. Yeah, okay, I get what you're going there. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. That takes care of the weather. I will have forecast updates throughout the evening and a couple more updates for you. Hey, y'all just helped me hit my stars goal. It's been so, well, the stars hasn't been working for so long, but you helped me hit that goal very quickly. I want to thank each and every one of you for your support. We've hit 59,037 followers, and we're on our way to 60,000, where Hutch's Weather is just an asset for me to be able to do what I love, and that's watch the weather for you. For now, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Please click follow on Facebook. Help me out. And you can also help me out by subscribing on the old YouTube channel. Speaking of which, my YouTubers out there, hope you're having a good and safe evening as well. And I see no more questions. Paul, your forecast for snow, not so much up there in northeast Montana, but you will be very cold in the morning with some, well, I'd like to call it frosticles, those things that form on your beard and mustache as you're exhaling. Y'all are the very goodest. Thanks for watching. For now, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson, and I will check back with you again a little later right here on this very same channel.